Rolling and the sound is speeding. Okay. Hi, welcome to another episode of This Week with Drew. This Week with Drew for Thursday, July 8th. On today's episode we got, fuck, I was fucking busy. Come on, fuck. And, oh shit. I forgot to put on my speakers. So I'm freestyling with no ether. I got no music. I don't know what's going on. I don't know where we're at. I can't hear the music. That's fine. Okay, fuck it. We're just gonna let it slide. Hi, welcome to another episode of This Week with Drew for Thursday, July 8th, 10th. On today's episode, we got, I see an old lady at the liquor store, work sucks, and right-wing reggae. So, hey, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Yes, okay, so let's start off the show. Let's just start off the show with a little bit of, we got a little bit of, how was my week? How was my week? Well, how was your week? Did you have a nice, highly productive week? Did you go into work and you were happy and healthy and chipper and you showed up on time and you clocked in and you were just very happy to be there, and then you gave it your all, and then you went home, and then for the 2.5 hours that you had to yourself in the evening, you just ate supper and watched TV? Okay, so I had a pretty good week. I hope you had a good week too. As well, as you guys know, last Monday I was talking about doing the park show, and that's been going well, and being back on the road and getting back up for stand-up, so whatever. So this week I was just I was working full-time at the place that I work, and it was weird because I haven't worked a full-time 40-hour work week and like rarely ever in my life, but especially at this particular place, I have not worked 40 hours in like years, like a full ass fucking 40-hour work week at a place in like years. Obviously, I've worked more than 40 hours a week, like every week of my life, but at a particular day job, I haven't done that. I haven't traded my labor for money. Most of my work comes from my self-employment, which is like a 24-hour thing. You're like, when you're self-employed, it's like, you're not necessarily like, you don't have this concentrated time of work where you're like, I work from 9 to 5. You're like literally like, there's always something to do. Like if you're not working and you're watching TV or you're fucking doing something, like there's a sense of guilt that comes with that, because as a self-employed person, there's always something that you can be doing, whether it's fucking calling and making more show leads, or updating online content, or writing, or coming up with like web design shit, or editing, or learning new skills. Like there's always something to do. So this was my first 40-hour work week at like a regular job thing, and I was like, fuck it, man. Like I'm you know, guys know me. I've been talking about my new relationship with stand-up and just with life in general, and I'm just kind of like, just kind of letting it slide. We're here, we're there, whatever. We're just doing it, and I gotta say, man, it was kind of like, I was like, I kind of fantasized about what it would be like to just be a normal guy and just like go to my work and then just come home, and then just like as soon as that clock hits and I'm like Fred Flintstone and I just slide out on the dinosaur tail, and then I just fucking get in my car and I go home. And it's not bad. There's kind of like it kind of goes by quick, man. It makes life like go by quick though, because you're just at work. Like you wake up and then you're like, okay, fuck, I gotta get ready for work and do all this shit. So you only have like a little bit of brief time in the morning. Even like I wake up at 7:30. I don't have to be at that place till 9:30. But you wake up at 7:30 and I gotta poop and get high for an hour. Like that's a whole thing. Like pooping, I gotta take 3 shits and then get high, and that usually takes like an hour, man, to take 3 poops. And you know, especially once you get the caffeine, because you get the initial poop and then you have the caffeine poop, and then you get the third little poop at the end, hopefully, after you've smoked. But so then it's, by the time I get in the shower, it's like 8:30, and then I gotta eat and dip, right? So you kind of have like you kind of have no time in the morning, and then you get home. I work 9:30 to 6, which I think is so funny. This place that I work for has this like I don't know. Actually, I should say it's not even the place that I work for. It's the government of Ontario has this thing where you're allowed to have your employees work 8.5 hours. And then only pay them for 8 because they go on a half-hour break. Which is like, it's like, what the fuck? Like, I'm here Like I'm at work, like I'm working. Like just because I'm eating, like doesn't mean I'm not at work. Like I'm eating, like I'm not physically working like a machine. Like the robot is turned off right now, but I as a human am still here at work. You know? So I don't know, the government of Ontario has this weird law where you can fucking get people working for 8.5 hours, so it's like, and only pay them for 8. So at a 40-hour work week, you actually fucking have an extra 2.5 hours of your life on top of that, because you're literally there for 8.5 hours. So it's really like a 42.5-hour work week. But then I also volunteered to do overtime for another 2 hours. So it was actually like a 44.5-hour work week, which I know some of my Alberta guys are like, buddy, fuck, I'll do that in 3 fucking days on a shutdown, fuck. You're sitting here working fucking 44 hours and 24 hours. One time I worked 48 hours in a whole 8-hour shift. You see me fucking wake up and fucking yesterday, and I've been at work since fucking 2001 actually. These guys, it's like a competition about how much they can fucking work. Which I think is a fucking stupid law, man. Like, I'm at work, dude. Like, what the fuck? Like, yeah, I know, I understand the machine, the human robot that I am is turned off. But am I not a human? Am I not man? So it's whatever, man. It just makes life go by so fast, because then you fucking get home. So you work 9:36, you work 8.5 hours, you get paid for 8, even though I wasn't working. But it's just like anybody at the place that I work at, nobody's fucking working. The whole place is like nobody's there. Even when you're working, you're not really working. Like that's the whole like everybody who works there understands that. Even if you don't innately understand that, that's why you work there. Because there's people who might actually be listening to this podcast who work there, who are maybe not in agreement with me. But it's like, you have to ask yourself, that is why you work there. Because this job, you don't do anything. If you actually felt the need to work, or like feel that you were contributing to society in any sort of like significantly meaningful way, you would leave. As lots of people do. There's a lot of turnover at this place, but then there's also a lot of fucking people, you know, that are lifers, that are like, I'm never fucking leaving. And like me, I'm a lifer. I've been working at this same fucking job. I've been working at this same industry since 2007. And like literally, I've been talking about this. I've been doing this job for fucking half my life. And it's just kind of like this thing, and the reason why is because you don't do anything. That's why I like it, is because you kind of do fucking, you don't really fucking do anything. And when you do something, you're just talking about it. It's like, well, you know, I might want that one or that one. It's like fucking, I mean, you know, and people invest so much into it of like, oh, this is super important. It's just like, nobody's important. We saw this in the lockdown, man. It's the farmers and the fucking truck drivers and the nurses and the doctors who are important. And then after that, it's kind of just like, well, fuck, man, what do you do? It's like I talk about ukuleles. It's like, okay, well, that's way down on the list of do we fucking need this guy. So I don't know, you get home from work and it's like 6 o'clock, 6:30, right? You get off at 6 and it's 6:30. And then you're like, okay, well, fucking, I gotta go to bed. Like, I gotta wake up at 7:30, so I'd like to go to get 8 hours of sleep. So I'd like to go to bed by 11:30 at the latest. So you get your 4 hours, 6:30, you get home until 11:30. And then you're like, okay, well, what the fuck am I gonna do with these 4 hours? And you're like, well, any combination of eating and drinking and watching TV, and that's kind of it. And then it's just kind of like this stasis that people are put in. And you get put in this homeostasis of just like, I wake up, I go to my thing, and then on my 4 hours I come home, and then hopefully I make a little dinner, and then now I get to relax. And what do people want to do? They want to just sit on the couch and fucking unplug their brain and plug it into a fucking TV, and then get the artists, the night people, guys like me, to fucking tell stories to you. You know what I mean? Like, there's chances are you're listening to this as a form of entertainment, or watching this as a form of distraction. Or maybe not distraction, but you're not at work because you wouldn't, you know what I mean? You're just waiting for night to come. Just, you get home and then you just wait for sleep. You're just waiting for sleep. What do you do in that 4 hours? You just kind of waiting for sleep to come. And you kind of fast forward through life, man. It's like click. But I don't know, so whatever, that was my experience. This is my experience working. I'm just talking about, I wanted to talk about fucking the proletariat. But I ended up just talking about how soft my hands are, bro. I'm an artist. I've never worked hard a day in my life. Okay, promotional consideration for This Week with Drew is provided by our Patreons. Oh, excuse me. Anthony, Blair, Joel, Nick and Mac, Marnus, Bubba, Taryn, Bryce, and in the motherfucking Hall of Fame, Colette and Andre, say their name. Grandma. Colette is a grandma. And congratulations to Blair and Shan for having their baby Joni. So congratulations, you guys. I can't wait to meet her. So yeah, now Blair's the daddy, and Bryce, and Taryn, and Marnus. So we got a lot of daddies. Our Taryn's coming up. So we got a lot of new daddies on the podcast. New daddies. We got some fucking new daddies on the podcast. You want a fucking new daddy? You come to this podcast and we got all the new daddies you need. What the fuck am I doing? Also, promotional consideration for This Week with Drew is provided by our sponsor, KingTutsCannabis.com. Go to KingTutsCannabis.com. Use the promo code Drew for 10% off your order. And if it's your first time ever, you get a little extra 15% off. So use the promo code, because it's number and a tester. Hi, Mink. Go to KingTutsCannabis.com. Use the promo code Drew for 10% off your order. Alright, I fucking seen this old lady at the LC boat at the liquor store. I seen this old lady at the LC and she had a fucking grocery cart in the LC, which is like, already I'm down with that. Because for me, if I'm gonna need anything, it's like the hand cart. Or I usually, you just go in and you just buy what you need and you put it up there. For me, at least, like buy a bottle of wine, a couple beers or something like that. If you need the hand cart, oh, we're getting extra beers, a couple bottles of wine for the weekend, whatever sort of thing. This lady had the fucking push cart. And I'm talking granny. Like, we're talking like 4'9", like bent, you know, that spine that looks like she just never, like, just posture. I don't know what happened in the fucking, to people in the 60s, but like, their posture is horrible. Like, their spines, like, every time I see that, it just makes me want to like stretch my back out and just like, so she had that fucking old lady, and then we're talking like blue hair, curly, like fucking just looks like a proper old lady. And she's got the cart in the liquor store with a fucking 40-pounder of Jack Daniels in there. And she's got her, I don't know if this is her son or her grandson or some kind of fucking guy who's like some big dumb like fat fucking guy who's just following granny around or whatever. And like, and I was like, oh, that's nice, like granny's buying that for him. But it was, she's like literally like, she was saying like putting more like beers in the cart, and then she was grabbing some like Bud Lights, just like loose hand in those 950 fucking Bud Lights, those mega cans, reaching up into the fridge and like grabbing the mega cans and stuff like that. And then she's pushing the cart. I'm like, holy fuck, why isn't this guy helping her or whatever? And then it's like one of those weird relationships where you ever see people like, just like, fuck you, grandma. It was like that kind of thing. Where he's just like, where she's like picking her stuff, and then she said something along the lines of like, well, you can buy whatever you want, this is what I'm getting, or whatever. And I was like, whoa! And he's like, oh, because he was complaining about the Bud Lights or something, and she's like, well, you buy whatever you want, this is for me. And I was like, damn, like Granny's getting fucking wasted this weekend, bro. Like Granny is getting fucking tuned, bro. A 40-pounder Jack Daniels Sour Mash and the 950 Bud Light cans, bro. The 950 mils. Like, I don't know. I wrote and then it made I wanted to do like a fucking, like, what did I say? Oh yeah. Granny's getting fucked up tonight. Granny gonna drop her depends tonight. Fucking Granny. Okay, that's good. I'm glad I did that on the podcast because that's not funny. Okay, so yeah, sorry the podcast was late. I was just working. Everybody's working for the weekend. And I turned into a lover boy guy. I was working for the weekend so I could do the podcast. I literally was working fucking 40-something hours this week and then doing the park show at night because I got an email. And so just been doing a lot of fucking stand-up at Toronto Music Gardens. Thank you to everybody who's been coming down to the show or just whatever in general. I think that's it. Yeah, I hosted last night. Oh, and no. Yeah, okay, that's it. Okay, thank you so much for watching the show. Andre, what's good, bro? Grandpa, Colette. Okay, Yeah, I love you guys. I'll check in on Monday. Fucking A.